She has sold more records than Celine Dion, more than Madonna, more than any other female artist in recorded music history. Over 350 million albums sold worldwide, a mind-boggling figure that places her firmly among the top 3 best-selling artists of all time. Yet in 2025, when we talk about flashy luxury, glitzy private jets, yachts docked in Monaco, or Beverly Hills mansions, her name doesn't necessarily come to mind first. Maybe it should. At 91, Nana Mouskouri is not just a global icon, a voice that has spanned continents and decades. She is a discreet magnate, a woman whose voice, literally and figuratively, has built an empire now estimated at over $300 million. Yes, you read that right, 300 million. Not in speculative cryptocurrencies or volatile stocks, but in solid assets, timeless royalties, strategic real estate, and prudent investments that still generate tens of millions annually. But where does all this wealth come from? How does one of music history's most celebrated voices live once the spotlights fade? What life does a legend create when the applause falls silent? Let's open the door to her world. Hidden villas in the Geneva hills, peaceful sunsets over Lake Geneva, an existence that whispers elegance rather than shouting extravagance. A life where luxury is not a show, but a sanctuary. Born Nana Mouskouri on October 13, 1934, in Chania, Crete, under Italian then German occupation, Nana's beginnings were far from promising. Her father, Constantine, was a cinema projectionist in a small neighborhood theater, her mother, Alice, an usher in the same venue. The family lived in a modest apartment above the cinema, amid smells of burnt popcorn and echoes of Hollywood films that made wartime Greece dream. Behind this working-class curtain hid a girl with an inexplicable gift. At 6, she sang in the local Orthodox church choir, her crystalline voice silencing the congregation. Doctors, intrigued by this near-supernatural purity, later discovered she had only one fully functional vocal cord, the other partially atrophied since birth. Against all odds, this anatomical quirk became one of music history's most precious instruments. A unique, velvety voice capable of shifting from Greek to French, German to English, Japanese to Spanish without losing its emotional signature. Nana's career exploded in 1961 with Weiss Rosen aus Athen, better known as White Roses from Athens, a German-language hit that catapulted her to international sensation. From there, her voice conquered the world in over 12 languages, across more than 200 studio albums, hundreds of compilations, and nearly every major market: Europe, North America, Latin America, Australia, Japan, the Middle East. In total, Nana Mouskouri has sold over 350 million physical and digital records, a record placing her ahead of Celine Dion, 250 million, Madonna, 300 million, and just behind Barbra Streisand and Mariah Carey among female artists. Album sales form a colossal part of her initial wealth. But unlike many 1960s and 70s stars who squandered earnings on parties, drugs, or costly divorces, Nana never indulged in excess. She saved. She invested. She diversified. Discreetly. Efficiently. Globally. In 2025, her annual income is estimated at over $50 million, and no, not from recent music. Much comes from royalties. Nana's catalog spans languages, cultures, genres. Her songs appear in international films like Jacques Demy's The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, luxury brand ads like Chanel or Air France, and now Netflix series like Emily in Paris or Lupin. Recently, her track Quand tu chantes got a second wind via the hit French series Cassandra on TF1, sparking a viral TikTok trend where Gen Z rediscovers her crystalline voice sampling it over electronic beats. Korean, Brazilian, American influencers remix her classics in lo-fi. She also benefits from massive licensing deals with Universal Music, managing her catalog, and streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Deezer, logging hundreds of millions of plays yearly. Per a 2024 Billboard analysis, White Roses from Athens alone still generates over $2 million annually in royalties. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. But music isn't her only wealth source. Real estate is central to the Mouskouri empire. Her main residence is a vast secluded villa nestled in the countryside just outside Geneva, Switzerland, where she has lived for over 60 years. Acquired in the mid-1960s while married to guitarist Georges Petsilis, the property is a hidden gem amid impeccably manicured French gardens, millimeter-trimmed boxwood hedges, and verdant hills offering panoramic views of Lake Geneva and the snow-capped Alps. The location was chosen strategically, close to Europe's music circuit, Paris 3 hours by train, Milan 4, London 1 hour by flight, but far from urban chaos, paparazzi, hysterical fans. In a 2018 Elle magazine interview, Nana spoke emotionally of her home. "When I'm in Switzerland, I feel safe. It's a democratic, fair country, and people are discreet. Here I can be myself." The villa spans over 1,500 square meters, with 7 bedrooms, a private soundproof recording studio where she cut her last albums in the 2000s, a reading room lined with bound books in Greek, French, German, Nikos Gatsos poetry, Beethoven biographies, Maria Callas memoirs, and a small performance space where she occasionally sings at private soirees for hand-picked friends. Inside, walls are adorned with mementos from over 70 years of career, over 300 framed gold and platinum records, vintage posters from world tours at Carnegie Hall, the Olympia, Sydney Opera House, handwritten letters from figures like Bob Dylan, "Your Voice is a Prayer," Quincy Jones, Leonard Cohen, and dozens of family photos spanning decades with children Nicholas and Helene, and longtime partner turned husband André Chappelle. The garden is equally sumptuous, a pergola draped in white roses, a nod to her hit, a path lined with modern sculptures gifted by artist friends, a stone meditation bench facing the lake where she spends hours watching sunsets. Interior walls feature carefully chosen artworks, paintings and sketches from her 1960s Athenian intellectual circle, the Flowcast Circle. Artists, poets, and musicians like Manos Hadjidakis, Yanis Tsouroukis, or Nikos Gatsos shaped modern Greek culture and deeply influenced her early music. Many works are personal gifts, some hand-dedicated with words still visible in a canvas corner. To Nana, voice of eternal Greece, Manos. Furniture is fully custom-designed, functional yet deeply personal, beige linen sofas, olive wood coffee tables imported from Crete, ancient Persian rugs. Her grand piano, an ebony Steinway & Sons gifted by Philips Records in the 1980s, dominates the main living room. Rarely played today, it remains the centerpiece, draped with an open score of Only Love. Her office is a knowledge sanctuary, shelves packed with handwritten scores from collaborators like Michel Legrand, Ennio Morricone, rare vinyls of her 1950s Greek recordings, and an antique globe marked with golden pins for every city where she sang. Despite all this opulence, Nana leads an almost monastic simple life. "In principle, our employee handles shopping," she confided to Elle, referring to her full-time Swiss housekeeper Maria, who also manages household tasks, organic buys at Carouge Market, light Mediterranean cooking, Crete tomato salads, grilled fish, goat cheese, and care for hundreds of plants, orchids, jasmine, potted lemon trees. Though she rarely drives now, age has dimmed her sight. The property has an underground garage housing her obsidian black Mercedes-Benz S-Class with cream leather interior and an embroidered headrests, and André's BMW 7 Series Hybrid. Both vehicles are kept impeccable by a private mechanic visiting monthly. In Greece, Nana once owned a prestigious penthouse apartment on Regillus Street in Athens' exclusive Kolonaki district, opposite composer Manos Hadjidakis' home, her mentor, friend, Pygmalion. Bought in the 1970s, the 6th-floor apartment was meticulously renovated, solid oak parquet, French silk curtains, Provence-imported ceramic tiles, furniture blending Greek antiques and Le Corbusier modernist pieces. From the rooftop terrace, the Acropolis glowed at dusk, a detail Nana often cited as her favorite. In 2013, citing permanent Swiss residence and increasingly rare Athens visits, she sold it for €2 million. End of an era. "I rarely come to Athens now," she told journalists, "but it will always be my heart's home." Details are scarcer, but Nana reportedly owns a pied-à-terre in Paris's 7th arrondissement near Rue du Bac, famed for art galleries, embassies, and cultural institutions like the Musée d'Orsay. During her 1970s-80s French market glory, selling over 1 million albums yearly, she split time between Geneva and this chic apartment, retreating between Path Marconi studio sessions or Antenne 2/TF1 TV appearances. Though the exact address and current value are private, her longtime biographer David Lelate-Hello confirmed in Nana Mouskouri, unvie that the apartment remains in her portfolio, likely maintained as a private residence or guest lodging for children or grandchildren visiting the French capital. Paris, after all, welcomed her from 1960, lending its language and audience before the world listened. As she once told Le Parisien, "France lent me its voice before the world heard me. I owe it part of my soul." Nana Mouskouri was never drawn to ostentation. Her luxury is discreet, practical, enduring. This extends to transport. At the heart of her personal fleet is her longtime favorite, an obsidian black Mercedes-Benz S-Class, S584 Matic model, with cream leather interior, massaging seats, personalized ambient lighting and premium Burmester audio where she listens to favorites by Edith Piaf, Billie Holiday, or Maria Callas. Configured for a chauffeur, it's ideal for comfort and safety on rare Geneva outings, to theater, friend dinners, or local cultural events. Husband André Chappelle drives a newer BMW 7 Series, a 740EX drive plug-in hybrid, reflecting their shared environmental concern. André is often seen arriving in it at international music galas or charity fundraisers, especially for UNICEF or UNESCO, organizations the couple remains deeply involved with. They occasionally use a Range Rover autobiography, particularly for retreats in remote Swiss Alps spots. Painted discreet forest green, it's usually driven by their personal assistant on long countryside trips. During her major touring era, 1970s to early 2000s, Nana Mouskouri was a true globetrotter. Performing in over 40 countries annually, from London's Royal Albert Hall to Tokyo's Nippon Budokan, New York's Madison Square Garden to Buenos Aires Teatro Colón, she needed a flexible schedule traditional airlines struggled to match. To meet tight deadlines between concerts, she began chartering private jets via companies like NetJets Europe and VistaJet. A close collaborator recalls her preferring mid-size luxury jets like the Bombardier Challenger 650, spacious for comfort without excess. Cabins were often configured with a reclining bedseat, small dining area, and portable keyboard for vocal warm-ups. She always traveled light, handwritten lyric sheets, Greek and French books, children's photos. Unlike other stars, she rarely traveled with an entourage. She was the exact opposite of a diva, confided a former tour director. Quiet, composed, always reading or jotting notes before going on stage. Flights were meticulously organized, organic meals, Greece-imported tea, in-flight playlists often featuring instrumental classical or gospel hymns. These jets offered not just comfort and practicality, but essential privacy for an artist whose image rested on dignity and restraint. Since officially retiring from the stage in October 2024, Nana's travels have become far rarer and more selective. Today, she flies only for personal reasons or highly symbolic events. One such moment was her moving performance at the Olympic flame handover ceremony in Olympia on April 16, 2024. Amid ancient ruins, Nana sang both the Greek national anthem and La Marseillaise, symbolizing the torch's passage from Greece to France for the Paris Games. For the occasion, she flew in a Falcon 2000 chartered by the Greek Ministry of Culture, accompanied only by husband André, 2 close collaborators, and a doctor. Despite fragile health in recent years, arthritis, mild heart issues, she insisted on participating in what she called one of the most overwhelming moments of my life. Upon arriving in Athens, she was escorted in a secure black Audi A8, preceded by a police convoy, straight to the Panathenaic Stadium for what many consider her last public performance. Privately, Nana and André take simple getaways, vacations to Skopelos or the Peloponnese, often by ferry rather than jet, or short helicopter hops. Their favorite escape, per Greek media, is a renovated small olive grove on Skopelos Island, with a traditional stone house. No phone, no press, just the Aegean Sea, cicadas song, and Andrei's evening acoustic guitar. Nana's fortune isn't just for personal comfort. Since 1993, she has been a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, succeeding Audrey Hepburn. These missions took her to Kenya, Vietnam, Chile, Bosnia, Mexico, advocating for children's rights, education, and healthcare access. She continues supporting girls' education, women's rights, anti-racism, and music accessibility in underserved regions. Her charity concerts often raised millions, fully donated. Per UNICEF estimates, Nana has given over $20 million since 1993. She also funds scholarships for young Greek musicians and music schools in Crete. For over 50 years, Andrei Chappelle has been far more than a presence in Nana Mouskouri's life. He is her anchor, confidant, discreet co-pilot in her career's later years. Though officially married on January 13, 2003, at Geneva's City Hall, their story began much earlier, late 1970s, when Chappelle became her Philips musical producer. Then, Nana was navigating international fame and emotional fallout from divorcing first husband, guitarist Georges Petsilis, leader of the Athenians trio. What started as professional collaboration evolved into one of European music's most enduring, discreet partnerships. For years, they maintained a long-distance relationship, Andrei supporting her career from the shadows while giving her space to be both mother and global star. "We didn't marry earlier because I didn't want to disturb my children," she explained frankly. From a traditional Greek background, introducing a new father seemed unthinkable. Yet their bond never wavered. Even after decades, Nana speaks of Andrei with respect and tenderness. "We are still in love. When he's there, I feel safe," she confided to Gala in 2020. In recent years, as her health has grown fragile, Andrei has taken a more central role, not just as companion and support, but as guardian of her legacy, coordinating with biographers, documentarians, and archivists to preserve Nana's immense cultural contribution. From her first marriage to Georges Petsilis, Nana had two children, Nicholas, born 1968, and Helene, born 1970, affectionately called Lenu. While Nicholas stays out of the media spotlight, working in finance in Geneva, Helene inherited her mother's love of singing. Under stage name Lenu, she pursued a career in pop and chanson, mainly in France and Greece, even collaborating with Nana on several 1990s albums. Despite her mother's grueling schedule in their childhood, world tours, recordings, promotions, the two remained deeply attached. In interviews, Nana expressed both guilt and pride in her motherhood. "I wasn't always physically present, but I passed on what I knew was most precious: truth, music, and the sense of beauty." Now adults with their own families, Nana's children and grandchildren are regular visitors to her Geneva villa. Helene's daughter, Nana's granddaughter, is reportedly a talented violinist who often plays classical pieces, Bach, Vivaldi, for her grandmother during family Sundays, perpetuating the artistic cycle across generations. In October 2023, just before officially turning 90, Nana was surprised live on French TV during a C'est à vous episode. This carefully orchestrated secret tribute gathered dozens of former collaborators, friends, and fans on set and via video to greet her. A 5-tier birthday cake appeared, lit with candles and adorned with white roses, a nod to white roses from Athens. When host Alessandra Sublet asked her to make a wish, Nana was visibly moved. "I can't believe I've reached 90. As a child of war, I never imagined singing this long." Her childhood under Nazi occupation in Greece was marked by hunger, bombings, losses, her uncle executed, home requisitioned. For her, hitting 90 wasn't just a milestone, but a personal triumph over history, time, and silence. Days later, Nana formalized her decision in a Le Parisien interview. "I don't want to collapse on stage. I want to leave with dignity before music leaves me." Poignant but not final words. She left a door ajar. Maybe 3 or 4 farewell concerts if the reason is truly worth it. Indeed, the only subsequent performance she accepted was at the Olympia Flame ceremony on April 16, 2024, singing the Greek and French national anthems. A symbolic moment, a light transmission between cultures, and perhaps her last public song. Even in retirement, Nana Mouskouri's public presence hasn't vanished. It has simply transformed. In 2025, she appeared in several documentaries and TV retrospectives in France, Nana, on Voix pour l'Eternité on France 3, Germany, die Stimme Griechenlands on ARD, and Greece, I Nana Mas on ERT. The National Audiovisual Institute released a remastered box set of her 1960s TV appearances, while Arte aired a new biographical portrait Nana, on Voix, un Monde, tracing her 70-year impact across continents. To general surprise, her 1966 Beatles covers album, long fan favorite, was reissued in limited vinyl by Universal. It topped sales in specialty shops in France and Belgium, driven by a young generation discovering her music via Spotify and TikTok tributes. Fan letters, paintings, and poems arrive weekly at her Geneva residence. One Chinese admirer even sent a hand-bound book of her lyrics translated into Mandarin. Her staff regularly gathers these treasures in a memory chest near the piano. She is no longer just a singer, wrote a Le Monde journalist. She is a cultural monument, and monuments don't retire. They simply become part of the memory landscape. Her fortune may be impressive, $300 million, villas, jets, royalties flowing like a river, but it's her way of living that truly tells her story. Without fanfare. Without flash. Just beauty, a living legacy, and loved ones close by. Which facet of her life surprised you most? The single vocal cord voice? The 350 million albums? The secret villa overlooking Lake Geneva? Luxury in minor key? Would you trade flashy fame for this quiet luxury, this discreet elegance? Tell us in the comments. If this intimate look at Nana Mouskouri's extraordinary life moved you, give a thumbs up, share with someone who still remembers white roses from Athens, and subscribe for more stories like this, legends who built empires without ever shouting their name. See you next time.